Have you ever been watching Simpsons and Homer, the main character, and thinking, what an example of a man this is? I want to be like him. I really doubt that that thought came along. And today I want to talk about the key habits that gets men respected in this society and some simple actions that you need to take if you want to be respected as a male amongst females and friends. So first of all, we have to understand what qualities in men are respected by society. When you think about someone who's disciplined, sharp, holds themselves accountable to their own standards, that's normally a man that's admirable in this society. Let me be honest, I don't necessarily see myself this way, but I do have some of the habits that I am looking at people who are 10 levels above me in this society and the habits that I adopt from them. Because the way I see these people, like the people that I'm talking about really is like Alex Hormozzi, James Smith, Chris Williamson. If you are watching YouTube on a regular basis, you do see these individuals. They seem to be ruthless, disciplined, and things like that. I don't see myself as being someone like that at this point, but there is habits that I'm borrowing from these people, and hence why you see me talking in front of the camera, despite how scared I am to press that record button. But if you pay attention outside the YouTube characters that you're looking at and look at your mates around, you notice that some men, when they hit 30, they start sliding down. What are those key habits that can stop you from sliding backwards and actually improve your life even when you hit 30s and older as a male? Most men, when they hit 30s, they continue the same sloppy lifestyle as they had in late teenage years or early 20s, where you drink as much as you want, you don't go to sleep on time and stay up late at night, and you eating whatever you want without really paying any attention to any of the things that really matter, and you may not even be training. But in reality, your body, your career, your partner, and your peers don't really respect any of those behaviors. Yes, it's fun to hang out with people, but if you want respect in a society, some of these things actually have to go. And I know what you're thinking of. By stopping drinking, going out, and starting to train, you will lose your old friend circle that you have at the moment. But let me be real. The real friends will stay, and the ones that won't, it doesn't matter because they were not real friends. So there's nothing to lose. And developing that discipline to stop going out and seeking those quick dopamine bursts and looking for happiness in the things that come in a bottle of wine or whiskey or beer, whatever you're drinking. This is hard to let go, and getting discipline to stop doing those things is quite challenging, but it's 100% worth it. At this point, you may be saying, oh, Modi, what are those habits? And let me just quickly tell you, the people like Alex Hormozzi, Chris Williamson, James Smith, and many others, the way I see these people, they're like front line warriors, which are going and attacking the world for us. So then peasants like myself can learn from them and apply the most beneficial habits that they have developed. One of the habits that you notice in between all the successful people at the moment, they're going to the gym. And they're not just going to the gym, they're actually training properly, and they do look very physically fit. If we pull out someone like James Smith from this example, I like him. I'm in his mentorship group at the moment, but he's lifting and he's doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is extremely popular sport, despite the fact that I don't like to grapple with men on the floor. I would prefer my partner. But anyways, that's a completely different conversation. So you see people are physically active and actually training and exercising and taking care of their body. So that's the number one fundamental. As a man who hits 30s, you need to take care of your body. You need to make sure that your body is strong and robust. Because let's be real, do you have more respect for someone who has a beer belly or someone who has broad shoulders and they do look like they're lifting? Just ask yourself that. Another thing that you notice in between these individuals is self-control. The self-control means that they're not going out and drinking every weekend and they're controlling what goes into their mouth. So if it's the food that will make you feel bad the next day, I don't know, something heavy in sugar, big dessert, whatever it is, it should not go into your mouth because the next day you will not feel that great. Don't get me wrong, everything's fine in moderation, but you have to control what you're eating for 95% of the time so you can enjoy that 5% every now and again. Another quality that we see amongst these people is being very disciplined around their work and around their money. So it means not buying whatever shit ads that you see on Facebook or whatever you desire on Amazon. You have to ask yourself whether the things that I'm buying is something that I really need or I don't. Because most of the time we just end up participating in emotional buys and we just buy something that we think that we need, we use it 1 or 2 times and we never use it again. I'm sure I could probably point some of these things around just by walking in the gym that hasn't been, I thought I need that for the clients, but we haven't used it as much because it's uncomfortable to implement in the sessions or whatever it is. And when it comes to also having discipline around work, the discipline that I'm talking about is not showing up to work and doing 8 hours of work. The discipline that I'm talking about is doing what's needed to be done. And for me personally, this is this video. Like, it has to be done. Next week, I have to schedule 2 videos. I have 0 that's edited and none of them are scheduled. So now, what's the time? I have another half an hour before clients come in for the sessions, and I use that time in between those sessions to record the videos to make sure that I am disciplined enough to stay on top of my goals, which is doing 2 YouTube videos per day, 2 YouTube videos per week until I hit 100 videos. So that's the discipline for work that I'm talking about. Another habit is setting up boundaries, which is one of the most challenging ones to set up. And to give you an example, I love mountain biking, but when I opened the studio, I didn't go mountain biking for 6 or 7 months. And I would normally go mountain biking with one of my best friends. And basically, what that meant, every single time he asks me if I want to go mountain biking, I had to say no, because despite how much I like the sport, same happened with badminton, by the way, as much as I love the sport and playing those sports with people and being in the nature, priority is the studio and the business. So it means to make the studio successful, I have to say no to everything else and just set up boundaries and say no to people which doesn't necessarily align with my values. So same thing for you. If your friends don't align with the values of what you're trying to achieve at the moment, unfortunately, you have to learn to say no to them. And like I said before, if they're real friends, they will be there when you're done with your goals. If they're not, it doesn't matter. You will find new ones along the way. And one last habit, which is very important, is actually respecting yourself and your recovery from day-to-day work, whether it's physical recovery from training or mental recovery from highly demanding job. Whatever it is, it will be different to everyone. So you need to make sure that you take care of your body, not only through the gym, but actually appearing professional. Like simple things like sleeping so you don't look tired. Second thing, taking care of your appearance. So make sure that you don't look like a homeless person, because it's self-explanatory, isn't it? You have a lot more respect for a man who is actually taking care of the way he looks. And I just need to check in front of the camera if I'm like all shaved and everything, but you get what I mean. So if you're clean, you look after yourself, your clothes are tidy, you have stable strength logo on your chest, all of a sudden you are more presentable. And you're not only more presentable to your partner, but you're also more presentable to your clients, or you're more presentable to the colleagues around you. So they will start noticing that you are paying a lot of attention to the way you look and how much you respect yourself by doing these things. So if you start showing that you respect yourself, people will start respecting more around you. So it's a no-brainer for me. And I'm not here talking in front of the camera saying that I got all my life figured out and I'm that alpha male like Andrew Tate is or whatever you look as an alpha male. So all I'm saying is that there is some qualities that we need to borrow from people who I consider that frontline warriors, and we need to apply as many of them as possible to our lives, because as a man you want to be respected in society and you need to present yourself as someone who needs to be respected through your physical appearance, through what you do in the day-to-day life, and how do you take care of yourself, how, I mean, disciplined you are, and like things like that that I already mentioned. So what I do is I just take as much as I can from these people, apply it into my life, and so far it has done me well. I gone from driving forklift across the street in the mini plant to owning my own business. I mean, that's the first year of the business, so we'll see where life will take us. All I'm saying is that borrowing these qualities will help you in life as a man more than you could ever imagine. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks that you will enjoy this one, and see you in the next one.